morning, everyone. It's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. I'm in my studio and we're going to do a tutorial together. Laura and I decided we would give a try to doing the tutorial by video instead of writing it down. Since a lot of the little techniques and mechanisms are best shown rather than told, we thought this would be easier. So what I'm going to do is I will caption below the section all the measurements. So you'll still have the measurements in front of you in writing because I know that's an issue for a lot of you. But you might want to watch the video all the way through before you start making your farmhouse folio. That way you're going to know how to cut the pieces and how everything works together. So I'm real interested in your feedback. I want to know what you like about this format. It's new for me, it's new for you. I've been doing videos on YouTube for a long time, but never for a kit. So I'm going to go ahead, turn this camera around, and we are going to get started building the album base. Thanks so much. Okay, let's get started building this folio base. You're going to need 3 sheets of the craft cardstock that came in your kit. And you're going to cut 2 of these pieces to measure 9 1/4 inches across by 8 inches high. So set those aside. And then the 3rd piece you want to cut to 10 1/4 across by 8 inches high. So we're going to call this piece A. This longer piece is piece B, and then the other 9 1/4 piece is piece C. So place piece A, the 9 1/4 by 8, on your scoring board, and you're just going to score it simply at 8 1/4 inches. And you will want to burnish these folds as you go. Burnishing just means that you're pressing it down with a bone folder or the side of your ruler to make a nice sharp crease. So this brings us to piece B. Piece B is the 10 1/4 by 8 inch piece. This you're going to score 1 inch on the left and 1 inch on the right. So you're scoring at 1 and 9 1/4, and then go ahead and burnish these pieces. And these 1 inch folds are going to be the spines on our folio. And we're going to double the spines to create extra strength in the construction of the folio. So set piece B aside and bring in piece C, which is also 9 1/4 by 8. And this one you're going to score at 1 inch and you're going to score it again at, this time, 6 1/2 inches. So 1 inch and 6 1/2 inches. And this is going to fold in like this. Now bring in your score tape or whatever adhesive you want to use. I'm going to use my Dries Clear adhesive. The 10 1/4 inch piece is the center. The piece that has just the 1 inch score on the right is on the left-hand side, and the piece that we scored twice with a little flap on the end, this goes on the right. So what we're going to do is overlap these spines and create our folio base. So I'm just adding my adhesive to the spine. And if you're using score tape, you can do that. Either one works just fine. Then you want to line this up nice and straight without going over the fold. And then burnish this down. Make sure that fold is good. Then come over here and we're going to join these two 1-inch spines together, just like this. So again, you're just going to bring this piece in, line it up with the score, keep it nice and straight, even at the top and the bottom, but don't go over the fold. And then this flap folds in. So this is now our folio shape. Here's our cover. Here's our inside. This is going to be a little flap page. This is we're going to have a pocket in here, a waterfall here, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So this is step 1. You just built the folio base. Congratulations. The next step is to mat the front and back covers and spine. So open your folio out, and from your black cardstock that came in your kit, I want you to cut 2 pieces that measure 8 inches across by 7 3/4 inches tall. From the brown cardstock that came in your kit, I want you to cut 2 pieces that measure 7 3/4 inches across by 7 1/2 inches tall. And from your cream cardstock, I want you to cut 2 pieces that measure 7 1/2 by 7 1/4. So those are going to be the covers, and we're just going to mat and layer these front and back. This is going to lend strength and stability to our folio cover, so that when it's done, it's almost going to feel like it has a hard cover on it. And again, use whatever adhesive you like. You just want to center these and keep them nice and straight so you have that pretty border all the way around your album cover. So it's going to go black, then brown, I don't recommend that you use just a little tape runner for this, because you want this to be pretty secure. So I would use like red line tape or score tape, something that has some stability. And I'm not inking any of the edges of my cardstock. I will probably ink the edges of the patterned paper from Farmhouse, but for this cover, this framed cover that we're creating, probably not. So there's our front cover. Now flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on the back. Okay, now I want you to cut from your scraps of your black and brown cardstock. I want you to cut spine pieces. The black are going to measure 7/8 inches wide by 8 inches tall. And you're going to put these on the inner and the outer spines. And again, don't go over the fold. You don't want to interfere with your album's ability to open and close. Now this black piece is going to go all the way from the top to the bottom. That measurement is correct. So for your brown, I want you to cut 4 strips that are 3/4 of an inch by 7 3/4 inches. And we're just going to glue those down over the spines. this one you want to center top, bottom, and sides. And this is just going to make those spines really strong and able to withstand opening, lots of opening and closing. Since so much of the integrity of an album is in those spines or hinged areas, I like to give it a little extra love. But already you can probably feel the weight of this. I know I can in my studio. It's already feeling really heavy and thick and sturdy, which I like. A little tip for centering: if you start on one side, if you have the bottom or top and the sides even, chances are you're even all the way down. So you can just lay that puppy down and move on. All right, that finishes this part. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is build the cover design. And to start that, I want you to take your product packaging and I want you to cut a 7¼ inch wide by 7-inch tall piece. And this is just going to work as a base for us. I like to build my covers off the cover and then put them on at the end because that way they don't get soiled. Oops, let me turn my light back on here. There we go, that's better. So you're going to adhere onto that also 7¼ by 7 of a piece of the Good Life, this black dot pattern. Now I'll say to you, you don't have to follow exactly what I do. If you want to use a different piece of paper here, you go right ahead and do that. I won't, my feelings won't be hurt. So there's that. Then we're going to mat over that. And the reason I'm not matting this on plain cardstock is that this black background really is acting as our mat. And this is, let me just double check the measurements. But I believe this is 6 3/4, yes, by 6 1/2. And this is the plaid from Gather Together. And we're just going to adhere that down. And the way I cut this was I just cut my paper to a height of 6 3/4 inches all the way across the bottom of the page. And then what that left me with was this lovely little panel that I trimmed down to measure. This is the same pattern. This is 5 by 6 1/4. And I've matted this on cream and black. And I do want this matted because I want some separation now between these layers. And this just helps to define it. And we're going to put this down about 3/4 of an inch from the left-hand edge of that plaid. Now go into your ephemera pack and find the 4x6 Life on the Farm. Go ahead and mat this on cream and black and cover the back with dimensionals. You can use waste chipboard. This is one of my little tricks. I save the negative space from my pop dots and I use it as a foam sheet and I get double duty out of it. So you are welcome to do that, or you can use, let me just make sure I've got all those. You can use whatever you want. And this is going to go right up against the left-hand edge, like that. And see, now you've got some dimension going on. Now from your die cut pack, find the fresh style. Put some pop dots on the back of that. And we're going to put this on as though it's a handle. So it's going to go right along the right-hand side of our ephemera card. And the only thing you want to be careful of, which I didn't do, I had a little pop dot showing there. So, because that will show on the other side. So there's that. Now find your 3 tickets from the die cut. And I backed these with waste chipboard. And I'm just going to glue these down as a border along this bottom edge. And I'm going to line it up just like this. So there's that. Find the 4 little banners. And you don't have to do this, but I really think it helps them have a presence on the page. I just matted them on scraps of craft and black paper and then repunched the hole. And I have a pop dot on the back of each one. Then take a piece of burlap string, and let me measure this for you. I just kind of eyeball it, but about 20 inches long. We're just going to fold this in half. We're going to tie a knot on one end, just a simple knot. And then I just want to twist it. So my right hand is twisting forward and my left hand is twisting backward. And what this is going to do is make this really fun little, I don't know what you call it, but I like the way it looks. Then tie a knot. Then we're going to thread this through our banner pieces and come from the back of the first piece. Then go down through the second piece. Come up through the third piece. So you're just going to string these along here. And don't worry about spacing them right now. Just get them on the string. And then for the last one, you're going to come up from the bottom. So once you've got these strung, leave some overhang on the one edge. And I'm going to put this right in the corner at the top. Then I'm going to take the other one, the other end, and I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I want to go down through this one. There. I want to do the same thing over here on this side. And then press it into place. Now you can take these 2 little ones and you can get them placed so that everything looks centered and as though it's supposed to be the way it is. Lift this one just a little bit. So you want the angles on the ones on the end to match, is basically what you're going for. And then get these positioned. Looks really cute. That looks really cute. And I'm going to just leave the ends hanging because I'm going to come in with stickers from the sticker sheet. Hopefully we have, yeah. So look, take your stickers from the sticker sheet and put one here. And you may want to secure that with hot glue. I'm going to. Just to really make sure that it stays stuck. And one there. And then your little knots come off at the end. You can adjust these a little bit if you need to. And then you can come in. There's all these little teeny tiny dots on the sticker sheet. Just put one in between each banner so that it's really cute. And let me find one more. And I am doing hot glue on the back just to make sure that they really stick, since we're sticking them to burlap. So now we're almost done with the cover. We're going to come in with our flower packet. And the first thing I want to do is lay down the foliage. So I'm just going to hit the back of it with a little glue and lay that down. And you can adjust. I'm not too worried about it because most of this is going to be covered with flowers, but you just want to have it stuck at some point. All right, and then come in, there's another one in there, do the same thing. I'm just putting a little adhesive on the back just so I've got something that will grip. We're going to put a little group together. I'm going to take this aqua and rust flower, one of the seed pods and one of the spirals, and I'm just going to wrap the tail around like this to make it a secure bundle. Then I'm going to angle it a little bit, put some hot glue on the back, and I want this right here, just like that. So cute. And you can fold this tail up so that it's kind of out of the way, and you can adjust these. That looks really good. Then I'm going to take another one. This one is the rust and the cream, and it has a spiral and a pod that go with it. And we're just doing the same thing. We're wrapping the stem around the spiral like this. Get them adjusted the way you like them. Okay. Then a little hot glue on the back. And these are going to go right here. Now what we've done is we've created a curve. And I just trimmed that off because it was too much. These Tim Holtz scissors cut through the wire stems really well. Okay, so now we want to play a little bit here. So I'm thinking this beautiful pale blue right down here. Then layer my neutral flower under that. And then this rust flower. And just kind of move things around until you've got it the way you like it. But there's our flowers. Super easy. I'm going to set this aside, and we'll put this on as the very last step. All right, this is my bow-it-all tool. You can do the same thing. Just take a piece of wood and screw a couple of dowels down into it. But this is one of my favorite tools, and I'm just going to show you how I tie my bows. So I start at the back, leave about a 2-inch tail, and you're going to go around the front, wrap it around the back, around the front, wrap it around the back, take it to the back, and now you've got an X. I fold this piece in thirds. I bring it up over the top. I pull it tight, and I come back and tie a knot. And then, this is key, you just want to pull until this is nice and tight. Then I bring in my scissors. I fold the ribbon in half, cut from the fold to the edge, and there's the tail. Then you have to come in and do what I call fluffing the bow. I put my fingers in the loops, and I actually open the loops up, pull those bows where I want them to be, and I adjust the tails so that they're even. Now, bring in your album, lift up one of the flowers, and put a puddle of glue under there. Then lay your flower in that puddle and use the tip of your scissors to push that into place. You don't want to touch that with your hand, because if you do, it's going to burn. And then I just, once again, adjust the loops and the tails while I'm holding that in place until I'm happy with the way it looks. And that looks good to me. So there's our bow. So now that your bow is in place, take 3 buttons from your kit. I threaded mine. You don't have to. That's totally optional. Bring in your hot glue gun, and you're just going to place 1 button in the center of your bow, kind of to top it off. And then I thought this looked really cute. I'm going to put 1 button here. It kind of adds to the country feel and covers up all this blank space on our handle. Look how cute. Very, very cute. So that really does complete the cover. Now what we want to do, bring your album back in. And very quickly, before we go any further, I have to do this. I just write front on the front, because that way I don't put anything else there. And you may be more organized than I am. If you are, good on you. But bring in your ribbon, and you want to have about, I usually do about 9 inches off the side. I actually kind of eyeball it, but I'll measure it for you. All right, let's go 10 inches here, wrap it around. Make sure I'm still at 10. Okay, close enough. And then trim this off. And I like to make the little V cuts on the end. You just fold it in half, cut from the fold to the outside edge. And for this, you do need score tape. So take your 1/2 inch score tape, you want to go from this inside edge on the cream, right across the middle, over the spine. I'm going to lay this down flat so that I get everything straight. Back to this piece on the middle. Just burnish that down. Peel off your tape. Fold your ribbon in half to find the middle. Place the middle of your ribbon in the middle of the spine. Don't press it too hard because you may have to adjust. Actually, we did really well. And now you can tie your bow. The reason you do this now is because you want to be able to have this ribbon secured under the front cover panel. It just helps keep it in place. So there is that. And I'm going to rewrite the word front on mine. There. All right. Okay, now we're going to cover this short page, and we're going to use our black, brown, and cream for this. First, you're going to lay down 5 1/4 by 7 3/4, and you need 2 of these, and these are going to go right here and right here. Then you need to cut 2 pieces of the brown. We're following that same pattern of black, brown, cream. These are 5 by 7 1/2, and you need 2 of these. And then for the cream, I bet you know already, I probably don't even have to tell you, 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. And you're just going to center, adhere, and lay those down front and back. So now you should have this. You open this, here's your first flap page, flip this over, and there's the back side of that. Now we're going to dress these 2 panels, and for this you're going to need 2 pieces of your black cardstock. And on the on the left-hand panel, you're going to leave it 11 inches wide, and you're going to trim it down to 7 3/4 inches tall. Then you're going to score this at 1 1/2 inches on each side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create, this is going to be a fun little flap page when we're all finished. We're just going to adhere this so that the flaps are on the front side. Just like this. Because these are going to be fun little flip pages. It doesn't look like much now, but when we get done with it, it's going to be really fun. Try to keep this straight and centered. Just burnish it down. There we go. Then in the center, we're going to make a hidden pocket panel. For this hidden pocket panel, cut your paper 9 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. And then you're going to score a 1/2 inch on the side and the bottom. Leave the top as it is. Now, I'll just show you how to make this. This is going to create a really neat channel that we can put some pull-out pages in here in the center. So now that you've burnished this, open it up, and you've got a little square in each corner. Take your scissors, cut up to the score line, and then kind of angle out on each side. I'll show you again. On the score line, up to the score line, and angle out. And this is going to make a really nice hidden pocket. So we're going to fold these back. We're going to place a little dab of glue in the corner to seal the corners, and basically we've just made a ginormous pocket. Burnish this down, and then we're going to place adhesive just on those scored hinges that we made. Don't put any adhesive anywhere else. And again, use whatever adhesive you like. And then this is going to go, we're going to center this with the bottom and the sides. It's going to be a little short on the top, and I want it that way because that gives our hidden panels room to come out. Let me get my patterned paper cut and we'll proceed. Okay, so very quickly we're just going to cover the back cover, and this is another 7 1/4 by 7 inch piece. This is from Fresh Style. And what I did, just to add even more stability to the covers, is I just cut apart the rest of that product packaging, adhered it to the back, and then it's just going to go on the back cover. So just make sure your right side up. Okay? The next step is to decorate this first flap page. And this is going to be a fun little interactive feature. The first thing I want you to do is cut a piece of the black gingham paper, and this needs to measure 4.5 by 7. And that's going to go there, but don't glue it down yet, because we're going to do a series of flips and flaps here that's going to make it really fun to open. So the way I did the flaps, you want to cut, this is from the chicken wire page, and this is 4 7/8 inches, and then score a 1/2 inch here. You need 2 of these with the score line on the left. And these are going to, you're going to put your adhesive on the flap and just wrap these around. Like that. Then you do the same thing for the right hand flap, only score the flap on the right. And you'll see here I left the branding strip on. That's just a nice way, if you can make it work, it's a good paper saver. So this one's going to line up with the one underneath it. So line it up along the top there. And you can see that I cut my pattern so that the flowers match. It's not essential. It's just kind of a nice finishing feature. So this is going to do like this. Fun, right? Do it so that this goes down, this goes down. So you could do it like that. So it actually has kind of a, I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to leave it like that. Now you can glue this down to the panel. Open it out. Then for this panel in here, I cut a 4.5 inch wide piece of the border. I just want to make sure it's going to close over that, which it does, no problem. And then I made these little gussets. These are 1 inch wide, and these are 2, because this piece is this piece is 4.5 by 3.5. So I cut 2 of them that are 3 1/4, and then 1, and I just score them in half and fold. One is like 4 1/4. It doesn't matter. You just want these two. The reason you do this is that you have more room to add things to the pocket. It makes for a less tight pocket. So let me make sure I'm in frame here. Move that out of the way. So you see I just glued the fold along the bottom edge. And then along the side, and you want that fold to line up right with the side. You don't want that to stick out. Now we'll just put a spot of glue here, and a spot of glue here, fold this up, and we made a really easy pocket. And this is going to go down right here, just like that. Isn't that fun? And then you take your manila tags, and they're going to go in the pocket, and we'll decorate those up with stickers. But I just wanted you to see how well this works. Now you may have to burnish these flaps again to get over the pocket, but it's really good. See? I want to turn this into a pocket, and I've taken these cute chickens. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive along these sides right here. I'm going to adhere this at the bottom of the page. And once that glue has dried, this tag will fit inside there, and then it holds the flaps shut so they don't fly all over the place. But the glue has to set up first. So while the glue is setting up, let's decorate our tags. All right, I've just cut from scraps 1.5 inch by 5 inch strips, and we're gonna adhere these. And this doesn't have to be precise. Use what you have for scraps. This just happened to be a piece that I had on the table, and I just went ahead and cut it up. So I'm going to kind of lay these down along the left-hand side because I want some of this great text to show. All right, now bring in your stickers from the collection kit. And this is totally, you know, this is what you want to do. Take a paper scrap, fold it in half, cut a little fishtail, open it out like this, and let's glue that at the top because that makes it look like it's ribbon, but it doesn't add bulk, which because this is an inside element, you really can't add bulk. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and it's a great way to use up these itty bitty scraps. And then we can take this handsome pig and put him right at the top, and that looks really adorable. And then you've got all this great journaling space on the back, so that goes in this pocket. Let me find another little wee scrap. Here we go. I love being able to take scraps like this. So again, I just folded it in half. And let's do this one the opposite way, just for the fun of it. And then look, just fold it on the diagonal, add a little glue, do it over the hole, and we'll put this pretty cow, I think, on this one to finish it. Cute, cute, cute. And that's got a little glue on the back, so I'm going to be careful. Put this down and over the top. Look how cute those are. So these will close. Then this tag goes in here and it holds those from flapping around. Okay, now let's deal with this little flap page. We're going to turn this into a flap and pocket. So you want to cut a piece of this fresh eggs paper. It's the one that has the chicken wire on the back. 7 1/8 by 7 3/4. And I scored it on the left at 2 1/2. So we're going to adhere this, but only here at the top, down the side, and at the bottom. Because, so I'm just going to put this here to help me with the placement of my adhesive. We want this to be a pocket on the other side. All right. Just center this and line it up. Don't go over the fold. Get it even top and bottom. Burnish it down. Cute, cute. So now this can flap open. You can do a large photo here, and we're going to do something fun there. I'll show you that in a minute. Now on this flap right here, this is another, this one is 2 1/2 by 7 3/4, and this is going to line the face of the pocket. And do you see how we have a pocket there now? So that's really fun. We can decorate our pocket with this sweet little chipboard. This is going to go right here. I don't know how long that piece is, but I'm just going to cut it in half. I'm thinking that was maybe 8 inches, 6 inches, something like that. So I'm just going to fold this in half. And pull the legs through. Just trim these off. And a little adhesive on the back. Put this one down here. And maybe this one that says Life on the Farm right in the middle. Cute, cute, cute. All right, now you can get some of these large and small journaling cards out, and they can slip right inside this pocket. So you can either do journaling on the back or photos on the back. And then let's do a couple of these in there too. So that's a great little photo and journaling pocket right there. That's really fun. Finishes that. Now let's flip this over, and I want to take one of these vertical ephemera cards. Life is Better on the Porch. center that and adhere it down. Then if you want to have a journaling spot on this side, you can back it this way, or you can have the cow on this side, or you can have fresh, let's do fresh eggs on this side. I'll line this up with this. Then take one of these sweet little charms, the one that says my happy place. Let's see if we have a round sticker that will fit on the back side of that, because then we don't have bare chipboard on the back side. We're just going to pull this through. And then tie it with a little piece of burlap string. There we go. So I glued that down up at the top, and then I want to flip it over and I want to cover up that naked chipboard. So let's take this fresh eggs. I decided to make a little decorative pocket for our flip page, and this is really simple to do. You want to cut a piece of paper because I want the pocket to be 4 inches wide. So I cut my paper 5 inches by 12. Then I scored 1/2 inch on each side, and then I turned it this way and I scored it at 5 and at 10. So that gives us 2 little 5-inch sections and a 2-inch section at the top. Then take your scissors and cut these little V's right where the score lines meet, because this way the pocket will fold more neatly. And on the top, just cut away the tabs on the side. Then take a circle die or anything round and trace out a thumb hole. I ran mine through my die cutting machine to make this little pocket. Now what we're going to do, fold this up. Now if you have one of these punches or any kind of a corner punch, I'm going to use a stub and just punch out my corners. Then this is going to fold down and be our flap. Then if you keep this piece, you can use it as a turn tab or a decorative piece on something else. I never throw those away. I'm actually going to take foam dots, put them on the back of 2 buttons. Let's take these cute chickens and adhere them at the bottom, just like that. And here our other button, just below the flap. And now we can take our burlap string and make a little string tie envelope. Cute, right? And I want to adhere this on our flip out page, because it goes with all these fun chickens. And this is just a great little tuck spot. You can put little photos in there, you can put little souvenirs if you want. You can keep all your die cuts from the collection in there. That would look cute too. And oops. let's take this Fresh Style sticker and put it on the flap. And that finishes that. Isn't that a cute element? I think that's really fun. And if we wanted to, we could put this little close. Let me make sure it will close. Let's slip this little turn tab underneath the envelope, just as a cute detail. So now you've got this tab on this side, so you know to flip that page. Fun. All right, that was that. Okay, so now we're going to do this short page. And for this, we want to cut a panel of our paper to measure 4.5 by 7. And we're going to just adhere that down to the base panel. And now I took the remaining 3 4x6 journal cards and I scored a 1/2 inch line across the top and folded it to make a little hinge. And what we're going to do is place our adhesive along this top line, center it, line it up with the top, and then just glue it down. Repeat it with the next one. So there's a fun little waterfall, and I realized the back side of these is upside down. So if you want to cover up the words, you can take die cuts, because they're nice and flat and they're not going to make it too difficult to close the waterfall. I want to put this little Friends sticker right here. Die cut, it's not a sticker. Then down here we can just cover up the word the Fresh Style with the word Farmhouse, and you still have a journaling spot. And that works quite well. And if the upside down heart bothers you, take the little heart sticker from the sticker sheet and do it like this. And that looks good to me. And then flip this one up, and we just need to find something to cover down here. So I got the word blessed from the border credit part page, and I'm just going to put adhesive on 3 sides to make a little pocket right here. Make sure you stay above the fold. A little die cut in there. Pocket here. So this is 5.5 by 3.5. But I'm going to make it a shallow pocket with a cuffed edge. This is really cute. So put this on your scoring board in between this pattern and fold it back like this. Now put it back on your scoring tool and score a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch, and then a 1/2 inch on the bottom. Bring in your scissors, trim out the corners. On the top, you want to go ahead and cut out this entire rectangular area where we scored the cuff. And then see this cuff folds back. See how cute that is? So place your adhesive along your cuff. And then you just make a pocket the way you always do. And this is going to go right at the bottom, and that looks super cute. All ephemera cards, and put some of these in the pocket. So there's only 2 vertical ones. We'll put the 2 vertical ones in there. The little tag is cute in the pocket too. Let's put, this is my happy place.